Ms. Sharada Seshadri. Ms. Sharada Seshadri is the design head at Architect Continuous, a Bangalore-based studio which she co-founded with her husband, architect Ar.Adithya Kashyap. Sharada, a gold medalist with master's degree from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, takes keen interest in sustainable design solutions and has been involved with architectural colleges as a faculty member, a speaker, and a juror. She has also worked with Center for Sustainable Technology, that is CST, IISC Bangalore on many cost-effective and sustainable construction projects. Today, Ms. Seshadri will be addressing the topic of culture, heritage, and contemporary architecture.
Today I'll be sharing my thoughts, my experiences as a practicing architect on the integration of traditional Indian cultural heritage within the context of the architectural practice. So as Janvi has already introduced me, so we are a group of architects, interior designers and researchers working in the field of architecture and interior design. And we are currently involved in a diversified range of projects across India. And as a studio, we are committed to the well-being of our clients, culture, and our environment. So before starting the presentation, I would like to just share my understanding of what is traditional architecture and what is contemporary architecture. So traditional architecture, as I understand, is a dynamic concept. It is a way of building using recognizable symbols, elements and materials related to our culture and heritage. And contemporary architecture, on the other hand, is the architecture that is practiced in the current day, that is the present day architecture. We don't have any particular single style, and there is a tendency to be unconventional. So why is culture and heritage important? Because I feel natural heritage and cultural heritage is the source of life and inspiration. It gives us an identity, it connects us to our roots, and it is also an emotional anchor. And in today's context, everybody is talking about sustainable architecture, going for energy efficient services and go green initiatives. It is, if you subtly look at Indian culture and understand it, sustainable living is rooted in traditional Indian culture. Any ancient Indian settlement followed the three T's, that is the tank, temple, and then the town. Divinity is seen in everything, in the natural elements. Earth is honored as mother. When it comes to water is Ganga. We pray Gange cha yamune chaiva. Not just the elements of nature, but including, not just the non-living elements of nature, but including the living elements like plants. So there is a very beautiful verse from Matsya Purana which talks about the importance of trees. It says that 10 wells are equal to a step well, 10 step wells are equal to a lake, 10 lakes are equal to a son or a child, and 10 sons are equal to one tree. So that is the importance of trees in our in a verse which you can find in Matsya Purana. And especially when it comes to trees, people tree occupies a very important role. It is very sacred, and apparently Vishnu resides in people tree. And during construction site, before starting any construction, we do the Bhumi Pujan by offering our prayers and by seeking forgiveness to the Mother Earth. And so you see the visuals of of a people tree which was transported and transplanted from a construction site. So the whole idea is, can traditional architecture and contemporary architecture coexist? Or can the design solutions take the best from both the practices, whatever is most appropriate as per the site context? If yes, how to do it? So it can be adopted by different approaches, what we call as the influence, the integration and the inspirations from Indian traditions, culture and heritage, and integrating them in contemporary architecture. So how to integrate? So by consciously you can use traditional building materials if it is locally available, stone, laterite, whatever, be it Mangalore tiles. So the visual is of an international yoga school that was designed for art of living in Bangalore, So here in this project, rammed earth wall was used along with stone monolithic columns. This is one way of integrating traditional culture. And the other way is to use the influences and take the influences from traditional design vocabulary, like it could be motifs, visual arts, building elements. So the visual here is of the Brahmotsava, which is conducted in Tirupati. So this painting was specially commissioned for this residential project, and you can see this. These are all traditional columns and beams and of a building, and it was reused in for a hotel in Hospet. And this is Rangoli artwork which has been used in a ceiling in one of our projects. And this is again a spout. It's a rainwater spout, as you can see. So by integrating these, you can take these influences from traditional vocabulary as a part of your design. And most important thing is taking inspiration from our traditions and culture. So I just got a tweet recently that Kunjara Mallan Raja Perintajan, he was the architect of this temple. He along with 1.3 tons of granite came together and created this ancient architectural marvel. This is Brihadishwara temple in Tanjore. Take inspiration from the perfectionism that you can see in the artwork of our ancient marvels. This is Chanakeshwar temple at Delure, which is a 11th century temple. So what is interesting is that it took 103 years, that is 3 generations of architects and kings. They worked on this continuously and created this marvel. It is in fact called as Kala Sagara, which because of its exquisite carvings and fine sculptures. So because of its beauty, I mean, it's so beautiful that you feel like there is life inside these non-living stone structures. These structures, interestingly, even depict modern day fashions like ponytail, even the ornaments that they wear, like skirts and Bermudas. They even wear many sculptures even depict high heel shoes. And there is also very meticulous detailing. So the detailing is so fine that you can see, the rotating of bangles rotate, the earrings rotate, and so that is the kind of detailing that was done. You can even see the detailing of the nails in these sculptures. So it's not just about the beauty or the decorative aspect. We can also take inspiration from the technology which was used in this ancient architecture. So in these again in the Delure and Halebeed examples, we can see rotating columns which were highly polished, and some of them were lathe turned in the Navaranga Mantapa. What we see, there are perfect geometric precision designs in these temples. So it is still not very clear for the archaeologists how what technology was used to create these marvels. And most importantly, we can take the inspiration from the values of these architects who created these structures. And especially when we talk about Delure and Halebeed, the story of this story it's incomplete without the mention of Jakkanachari. He was a chief architect of Delure Halebeed temples. So in fact, he's called as Amarashilpi because his legend is as immortal as the architectural marvels that he's created. So Jakkanachari, he dedicated his life for the temple architecture and sculpture. And the story goes that under very difficult circumstances, he got separated from his wife and his unborn child. And motivated by his spiritual master Ramanujacharya, he set off on building temples in the Hoysala kingdom. So his son was born after Jakkanacharya left home, and he also grew up to be a sculptor. And he later met his father at Delure. And when he pointed out that there is a flaw in the sculpture, on the artwork done by his father, Jakkana, so Jakkana at that point did not know who this young man was. He vowed to cut off his right hand if the flaw was proved. And it turned out that there was a toad hiding inside the rock that was sculpted. And this was what made it unfit for sculpting. So Jakkana is believed to have cut off his right hand before, returning to reuniting with his son. So this inspiring story gives a glimpse of the values of the architect in those times, the lifelong commitment that they used to give. It was not just a business, it was an honor to be a part of this in the creation of these architectural marvels. So with this inspiring story, I would like to end this session. Thank you so much again for the opportunity.